There is something mesmerizing about people who move through life with a natural ease that draws others in without effort, the kind of presence that doesn't feel rehearsed or forced, but simply spills out in a way that is uncalculated, human, and disarmingly real. These are the people who make others feel lighter just by being near, who laugh freely without worrying about how it sounds, who stumble in conversation and turn the pauses into warmth instead of awkwardness. Everyone has met someone like this, the friend who quietly brightens a room, or the stranger whose fleeting presence lingers in memory. But beneath that effortless charm lies something deeper, a subtle psychological current that is often invisible. True charm, the kind that feels effortless, is actually the product of a paradox. It comes from those who don't take themselves too seriously, who are comfortable enough with their imperfections to let them show, and in doing so invite connection without needing to manipulate or impress. Modern psychology reveals that connection often thrives on what's called benign violation theory, the principle that people are drawn to those who bend social expectations just enough to surprise without discomfort. And this is exactly where the so-called fool operates, skipping the rigidity of social rules with humor, self-awareness, and playfulness, signaling that life isn't meant to be perfect, and that it is safe to let down one's guard. Charm, then, is not accumulation but subtraction, removing masks, scripts, and constant self-monitoring. Those who appear most effortlessly appealing are often those who have stopped performing a role entirely, whose natural ease invites ease in others. Psychologists refer to this as emotional contagion. We mirror the emotional state of those around us, and calm, relaxed presence spreads safety. Effortless charm is thus rooted in self-regulation and groundedness. The charm isn't in flaunting confidence, but in signaling safety and authenticity. It has the quiet assurance of someone at peace with themselves that relaxes the nervous systems of others. Attempting to manufacture charm inevitably fails because the moment you perform, you lose spontaneity. Real charm emerges from surrender and presence, from showing up without scripts, without the weight of needing approval. Studies in social psychology describe the pratfall effect, showing that competent people who make minor mistakes are perceived as more likable, and those who embody this principle stumble with grace, laugh at themselves, and in doing so become relatable. Relatability, after all, is one of the deepest currencies of charm. Perfection draws admiration from afar, but humanity invites trust and closeness. Underlying this effortless appeal is humility, not shrinking oneself, but recognizing that everyone reflects parts of our own humanity. The truly magnetic person doesn't dominate. They dance with the room, observe carefully, listen deeply, and respond to energy rather than ego. They understand that charm grows in the spaces between, in listening without rushing to reply, in allowing moments of silence without fear, and in observing ordinary life with curiosity and play. Play, as research suggests, is a potent force in human connection, signaling confidence and inviting shared joy, and yet it becomes rare in adulthood as society equates seriousness with intelligence and spontaneity with recklessness. The fool's charm awakens a childlike wonder in others, briefly suspending fear and allowing the simple joy of existence to surface. Beneath the lightheartedness lies bravery, the courage to be open in a world that values control, to smile without calculation, to risk misunderstanding, to embody vulnerability wrapped in strength. This charm isn't about seduction or manipulation, it's about giving permission creating a space where others feel free to drop their defenses, to be themselves and to trust. The Fool doesn't script interactions. They follow curiosity, exploring conversations like a wanderer rather than a strategist, admitting ignorance and embracing the unknown, which reframes imperfection as connection. Authentic charm is therefore not about intelligence, wit, or attractiveness. It is the creation of space where everyone feels slightly more alive, a presence that invites rather than demands. At its core, effortless charm is alignment, emotional, cognitive, and behavioral congruence that is instantly recognizable to humans who are attuned to subtle discrepancies in demeanor, tone, and expression. The Fool exhibits self-concordance, acting in ways consistent with their values and identity, prioritizing what feels real over what appears correct. In doing so, charm transforms into a kind of artful honesty. Likability emerges not from pleasing, but from fully showing up, making real connection possible because people instinctively sense authenticity. The Fool's approach conveys that being enough is inherent, independent of achievements, approval, or admiration, and that existence itself warrants permission. The most magnetic person in any room is often not the loudest or most polished, but the one who is fully present, attentive and responsive to the energy around them, making others feel seen and safe, lowering stress, and fostering trust through presence alone. This effortless appeal is rooted in emotional intelligence expressed with courage and sensitivity, noticing subtleties, responding empathetically, and flowing through social dynamics without fear or over-analysis. The Fool embodies contradictions with fluidity, appearing carefree while deeply aware, seeming playful while profoundly understanding, making others laugh while carrying quiet wisdom. Cognitive flexibility allows them to hold multiple perspectives, to play with ideas, to remain adaptive and curious, and to find meaning in what others overlook. The lasting impression of such a person comes not from their words or looks, but from how they make others feel lighter, freer, more present in their own lives. Philosophical traditions like Stoicism underscore this balance. Emotional steadiness or apathesia, paired with the joy of play and the courage to remain centered amid life's chaos. The Fool's charm becomes almost spiritual, not as seduction but as connection to something larger than self, a reminder that human imperfection is natural and even beautiful. Neuroscience affirms this. Shared laughter, play, and presence trigger endorphins and bonding chemicals, creating subtle, lasting shifts in those around them. Attempts to force charm fail because desperation undermines authenticity. Detachment, not apathy, fosters real connection. The Fool's faith in being enough, in showing up imperfectly, transforms missteps into rhythm, misunderstandings into laughter, and vulnerability into power. This archetype, evident from historical jesters to modern comedians and philosophers, has always served as a conduit for truth, blending wisdom with play, innocence with intellect, teaching without preaching. Real charm is thus permission-based. It flows from relinquishing performance and embracing full, messy, joyful participation in life. Presence, not polish. Authenticity, not perfection. Observation, not performance. These are the pillars of effortless charm. The Fool demonstrates that true magnetism is about letting others feel safe, seen, and lighter, a gift of emotional alignment and fearless authenticity. In the end, charm is less a skill than a state of being. It is freedom, playfulness, courage, empathy, and the willingness to be fully human. Anyone can cultivate it by surrendering the need for perfection, embracing vulnerability, and allowing life to unfold with curiosity, laughter, and presence, remembering that the real secret is simply being oneself, fully and unapologetically, and in doing so reminding others that they, too, can exist freely and without pretense.